Did you know that in construction, the job growth for 2025 is 50,000 job opportunities? And over the next 5 years, it's predicted we'd need another 239,000. Hi, I'm Jamie from Evolution 5, and today we're going to talk about careers in construction. I've been working in the construction industry for 27 years, and here are a couple of reasons I love construction. Number one, it's really rewarding. So when you think about working in construction, whether you're building a bridge, whether you're building construction roads or infrastructure, or more from my experience, you're constructing a building or refurbishing a building, there's a beginning and an end, and you've got something tangible that you can see what your contribution has gone to. So it's super rewarding working as part of a team to construct a building and then be able to hand over that building. But also, you know, these buildings or assets or bridges, whatever they are, they're within our communities. So you'll always see that, and past the building, you might go, well, that's the job I done, or I worked on that. And oh, there's another one, I did that. And, or there's a colleague I know, he did that. So it's great from that aspect that, you know, you can actually see something tangible that you've been involved in. It's also your contribution. You make a great contribution to society and also the community of which you live in. So, you know, if you're out with your friends and you go for a coffee, you know, you're in a coffee shop. Somebody built that building, or someone refurbished that building after that building was built. In order to get to the coffee shop, you probably crossed the road. Someone constructed that road. So all around us, everything we see in this built environment is produced by somebody who worked in construction. Whether you're an indoor person or an outdoor person, there's something for everyone in a construction career. In construction, there's over 2 million people employed in the sector. And we look at construction in terms of jobs and careers in, let's say, splitting it by three. So firstly, we have the professional side, architects, engineers, quantity surveyors, etc. Then we have the trade side. So this is your plumbers, electricians, plasterers, etc. And then the third sector really is like support services. These are like construction lawyers, they may be building supply merchants and what have you. So what we're going to do is we're going to explore some of the careers in construction by looking at a job from the beginning to the end. So let's look at a project. So once we pass the client brief, one of the first things the client needs to do is to assemble a team. And in real terms, that team is made up of professionals. Typically, that would be an architect who's responsible for designing the building, a civil and structural engineer responsible for the structural aspects and civils and the calculations that go with that, a quantity surveyor who's responsible for cost management and budgeting, a project manager, depending on the size of the project, who will be responsible for leading and managing and coordinating the project, and maybe in addition to that, an MEP or building services engineer. So the professional team, once appointed, will take the project from a concept design stage right away through to the employer's requirements before we get to construction. And during that journey, they will potentially have to go through planning. So there's a role there in construction for planning consultants, and it may also have to go through building regulations. So we have approved inspectors and building control officers, which are other roles that you find in the construction sector. And in addition to those roles, we also then have specialist consultants as well. So you may have a fire engineer who will be consulting during the design development, acoustic engineers or acoustic consultants. There are so many variations of roles within construction, and in some instances, they become really specialists. So we've now got to the point where we've produced the employer's requirements, and we're now considering how we're going to construct the project, particularly the procurement of a main contractor, also referred to as a principal contractor under the CDM regulations. The main contractor offers lots of different career prospects. For example, a main contractor employs estimators. Estimators work on tenders for projects. They employ quantity surveyors. The quantity surveyors look at the cost management on behalf of the main contractor during the construction phase. They employ site managers. The site manager is responsible for the coordination of subcontractors and the management and the delivery of the project on site. They employ health and safety managers to make sure that the project is delivered safely and looking after the well-being of their staff as well as the subcontractors, visitors and the general public. And in addition to that, there's lots of other roles. A main contractor will have a marketing department, they will have a finance department, administration and office management. So there's so many roles in construction just through the main contractor alone. But now let's talk about the works on site. So we've already mentioned the site manager and what the site manager does. And we've mentioned the quantity surveyor who works with the site manager during the construction. But let's talk about the people who actually construct the project. So like we mentioned earlier, these are known as trade contractors or subcontractors. And there's a variety of roles in construction. So when we think about a project at the beginning, we normally have to dig foundations. We have to put drainage and the infrastructure in. And that's generally known as the groundwork contractor. So there's roles in the trades and subcontractors to work as a ground worker. Next, we start to think about the skeleton or the shell of the building. So let's assume in this instance it's a structural steel. So then we have steelwork contractors who erect steel frames. There's another role in construction. Then we move on from there. The envelope, they may be cladding contractors, window contractors. We get to the inside of the building. We've got to put all the M&E and the building services in. So we have building service engineers, we have electricians and plumbers, mechanical engineers. We've got to put up internal walls. So we normally have dry liners, plasterers, and then we've got to decorate. So you could see there's such a vast array of opportunity in construction. So like I said at the beginning of the video, a career in construction could be extremely rewarding, and to know that you're making a great contribution to society and community is a really positive thing. If you're looking to get into construction, there are a few routes that you can do so. Number one is leveling up, working up. So that is getting a job in construction, maybe starting out as a trainee and working at the role with experienced professionals or tradespersons and gaining experience and working through that route. The other is there's now T levels, which are the equivalent of 3A levels. And these are vocational qualifications that are more aligned to employers' requirements in order to make the person more employable. And these are a great route now into construction roles and careers. And then there's the university route, which is obviously to get your go through your college, get your A levels, and then move on to get a degree in a chosen career. So quantity surveying, for argument's sake, or project management, or whatever that might be. And then lastly, there's apprenticeships, and I'll stick with the professional side because that's what I know, but we employ people through degree apprenticeships, and this is where you've got the balance of the two. So you can work doing the job, you can have day release where you do an apprenticeship over a period of time and you get the degree qualification, but you also get the experience. So you get the best of both worlds. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope there's just something in this video that inspires you to take up a career in construction, and I hope I see you in the construction industry soon.